Helena was 23 years old when her life collapsed like a house of cards under the gusts of fate. The call came in the middle of the afternoon, while she was washing the dishes. Her parents had died in a bus accident on the São Pedro highway. The collision with a truck was so violent that they couldn't even be recognized immediately. She hung up the phone with trembling hands and looked at her younger brother, Lucas, only 7 years old, playing on the floor with a broken toy car. In that moment, the world lost all color. Grief came accompanied by responsibilities. The funeral was simple, cold, with neighbors saying automatic phrases like "I'm so sorry" and "stay strong." Helena didn't cry in front of anyone. She held everything in so as not to scare Lucas. But at night, after he fell asleep, she curled up in the bathroom, covering her mouth so no one could hear her sobs. The sadness became a constant lump in her throat. The following days were a parade of problems: overdue bills, rent under threat, food running out. Her uncles refused to help. They said they couldn't take in a child, that they already had their own problems. Helena tried to continue her nursing course, but there was no way to take care of Lucas, work, and study all at the same time. She dropped out of college with a promise to herself that she would return one day. She found work as a cleaning assistant at a municipal hospital. She spent her days scrubbing blood-stained hallways, cleaning bathrooms used by people who had already lost all dignity. She swallowed insults from arrogant doctors, ignored looks of disdain, and returned home by bus, her feet bleeding inside worn-out shoes. The hardest part was arriving home and pretending everything was fine. That it was temporary. That she was strong. She cooked dinner with what little they had, told bedtime stories to Lucas, and silently wondered how much longer she could keep up the act. There were days she ate only rice to save the chicken for her brother. There were nights she thought about leaving everything behind, disappearing. But Lucas was her reason. Her mission. Things began to spiral out of control when Lucas got sick. Asthma attacks became more frequent. The school called complaining about his absences. The medications were no longer covered by the public clinic. The doctor recommended an inhaler that cost more than she earned in a month. Helena took out loans, pawned her mother's ring, sold the television. And even so, social workers knocked on her door saying they were going to evaluate the case. They threatened to take Lucas away due to emotional and financial instability. The final straw came when the hospital boss fired her for missing 2 days in a row, precisely when Lucas had been hospitalized. She begged. Said it was because of her brother. But he simply said, "I can't keep someone like that," and turned his back. Desperate, she went to a social assistance program at City Hall. But the waiting list was months long. That was when she met Vicente, an older man with a tired appearance, kind eyes, and a calm voice. He had fallen ill in the line, and Helena helped him, as if she were still a nurse. He thanked her. Days later, he returned to the line just to see her again. They talked. He became interested in her story. And then, he made her a proposal. "Helena, I need someone. And you need everything. I'm alone. No children, no wife. I have a house too big for just me. I'm offering you a deal, marry me. In return, I'll give you and your brother a stable life. I don't want love. Just presence. Just someone to be here." She was shocked. Rejected it immediately. Said that wasn't how things worked. But the following week, with Lucas vomiting blood and nowhere to sleep, she gave in. She said yes. They got married quietly. No party. Just a signature at the registry office, 2 broken worlds joining out of necessity. Vicente kept his word. They moved into a comfortable house. Lucas was transferred to a good school. Helena once again had food on the table, clean sheets, peaceful nights. She began taking care of the house. Did everything with care. Vicente, for his part, never crossed the line of respect. They talked at night, listened to music together, read. They created a routine of peace. For the first time, Helena wasn't afraid to fall asleep. But time brought another feeling, guilt. Helena wondered if she had sold her freedom. If she was a woman without dignity. Sometimes, she'd wake up sweating, dreaming about her parents, imagining what they would think of her. But when she saw Lucas smiling at breakfast, playing, running, healthy, she found strength. 2 years later, everything changed again. Vicente truly became ill. It started with mild coughs. Then fevers. Tests. Lung cancer. Terminal. Helena, who had stopped being a nurse, became a caregiver. She prepared his medicine, changed the bed linens, made soup, read books to him until he slept. They spent long nights talking about life, about regrets. And then one night, he confessed. "I lied, Helena. When I said I was sick at the time I proposed. I was healthy. I made it up. It was the only way I could help you without hurting your pride. But now the punishment has come." She remained silent. Spent days without saying a word. Felt betrayed. But also grateful. Because even the lie had saved their lives. Vicente died 2 months later. He left everything to her. The house, the car, the savings account, even a life insurance policy that covered Lucas's education through college. In his farewell note, he wrote, "Thank you for giving me a family, even without meaning to." Helena tried to return to college. But now she faced another dilemma. Life was giving her peace for the first time. Was it worth starting over, or was it better to just breathe? She decided to do both. She took care of Lucas, who was now 12 and dreamed of becoming a doctor. And on weekends, she began volunteering at a shelter for abandoned children. It was at that shelter that she met Marina, a 14-year-old pregnant girl abused by her stepfather. Helena took her in, brought her to the hospital, defended her at the Child Protection Council. She began helping other girls. Her story, once a burden, was now a weapon. She began to be heard. One day, a local newspaper wanted to tell her story. She declined. But the reporter insisted. When the article aired, Helena received dozens of messages from other women saying, "I needed to hear this." Lucas grew up, became a doctor, built his life. And Helena, now with gray hair, remained strong. She never married again. But she was never alone again. And when asked if she held any resentment, she replied, "No. Life was cruel, yes. But it was also generous. Because in the midst of pain, it gave me a reason to keep going."